And we are live now, guys. I have Bros That Stream with me, Matt and Oz. If you guys haven't checked them out, make sure you go check them out on Twitch. They used to be YouTube streamers that I would go and check out. They played multiple different games. They played Cuphead, they play FIFA, they do golf. And I did see that they used to do Rocket League, but now they're over on Twitch. And guys, that's one of my main questions I have for you is what actually made you want to make the transition over to Twitch versus YouTube?
So I can start that, man. So we originally, like you said, were on YouTube, and with the whole mixer change and with YouTube Studio being in beta form, we kind of just said, you know what, let's roll the die. Let's see what happens with YouTube. Let's start with that. Maybe it'll pop off. After streaming there for a good 2 years now, and with Mixer being gone and everyone gravitating towards back to Twitch, we said it's probably better from a streaming standpoint to go to Twitch. It's just a lot. It's a lot bigger community out there. Even in our little time with it, it's a lot more user friendly when it comes to editing and going live. So we like that. But we're definitely excited that we've got 2 years under our belt with streaming, and now we're going to go over to Twitch. So make sure you guys follow us there.
So
Yeah, and I guess the one other thing I just add to that is, for what it's worth, when we initially decided to start on YouTube, one of the big reasons was because Twitch is very, the way when you go onto Twitch and you look up a game, it'll sort it by view count. So the top streamers will always be at the top. So League of Legends, for example. Oz and I are really big into the game. We stream it a lot. We were watching it for years before we started streaming. And I bet 5 streamers get 98% of the streams under that game title. Where YouTube was the opposite of that. It actually sorted it by who started streaming last. So that was really enticing to us. But I guess basically, as I said, there's over the last year or two, the functionality of YouTube streaming has not improved at all. If anything, it's gotten worse in our opinion. And that was our big, and we weren't really getting any benefit, we didn't think, from the streaming there. We thought more people would come over. They didn't. So anyways, we ended up deciding to move over to Twitch, and so far for the last month, my brother's been working on it. It's significantly easier. There's way more functionality for us. So
Yeah.
I definitely think it was ideally we would have actually just came here right off the bat, but I'm happy we're here now.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess I'll go off that. One more thing is like you said, it's a lot easier to use. Recording clips, making highlights is so easy. You don't have to go to a third party and then back and record it. I guess the last thing too was, even though we're on Twitch, we still have our YouTube channel, and so we use Twitch as our live streams, and then we still have YouTube for our videos that we upload. So although we're off YouTube from a streaming standpoint, we're still there for our videos as well.
okay, yeah, I noticed because I moved around before too. I did the Twitch and I was on Twitch. I want to say probably close to about 2.5 years to 3 years. I decided to make the move. I went and made the move over to Mixer because of the simple fact what Matt brought up is, yeah, you see the top streamer there all the time, and Twitch does have the format where you can actually search from someone that just started their stream up, so you can actually filter things out like that. And one thing that kind of drove me over to Mixer was they had different guidelines. Twitch is a really big area. It's a really controversial area to be, though, as well. And from the standpoint I had, I was like, hey, I'm going to go check out Mixer. There's not as big, I guess, would say, streamers over there. So it's actually, you can be seen a lot better. And I think that's why a lot of people kind of moved over as well, because you're going to have your big streamers, Tim the Tap Man, Dr. Disrespect, which is obviously not on Twitch anymore. He is now on YouTube, and that's a whole other scenario. I don't understand why he got banned, and I don't think a lot of people understand. There's some theories out there. But the move to Twitch, which I am happy to see you guys on there, it's really nice. YouTube kind of has a weird thing where they don't always tell you that the person's going live. I know a couple of times I would know you guys would usually be on, I think it was a Wednesday or something. I actually had to click on your name to see if you guys were live. Have you guys noticed anything different of making your move over to Twitch, of people finding you a lot easier, or do you think that you're getting lost in the shuffle a little bit?
I know I can speak, our close friends that follow us on YouTube, months into our streaming on YouTube, they would get notifications when we go live, and then like one update to YouTube Studio, I don't know what they did, but like they changed like the default to not receiving notifications when we went live. So we had buddies that like came up to us and said, "Hey, when are you guys streaming next? It's been weeks or months." And we're like, "Dude, we've been streaming every week." So I think there we just fell down that hole where YouTube just screwed us in not making it obvious or letting us know that these settings are changing and people aren't noticing you going live. And a lot of our buddies told us that. It kind of screwed us. Now, like, more to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that was an ongoing problem, and I know I've heard many, just in general, YouTubers, people who don't even just stream, have that issue. So we haven't been on Twitch too long, but I guess we really haven't heard about any issue. We haven't heard about any issues, and in general, I really haven't heard about issues on Twitch about that kind of stuff. So the Twitch interface too is way better than it used to be. Like, I don't know how long you've been watching like stuff on Twitch, Johnny, but I mean, like, Oz and I started playing League of Legends in 2010. So I was watching streams probably in 2012 at least. And Twitch used to be way different than it is now. I mean, it's come a long ways.
And one thing on YouTube I just remembered that I hated. So like when someone, on Twitch, let's say, comes and follows you, they want that, like, they want to see themselves, an alert pop up, so and so just followed. They want that recognition. In YouTube, there's a default setting where when you subscribe to someone's channel, the default is your subscriptions are private. So when your subscriptions are private and you sub to someone while you're watching their stream, you won't get that notification while you're watching the stream saying that you just subscribed. So like, I feel like that was a piece where we saw people in chat, we saw that they probably subscribed, we saw our numbers go up, but because the default setting was subscriptions private, we never were able to make that connection with them or engage them because we never physically saw their alert come up. And do you know what I'm trying to say? Where that initial piece of engagement with them was very lacking in those instances because we weren't able to make that connection because YouTube yet again kind of screwed us there.
Yeah, I guess I never check out a whole lot of streams on YouTube. I recently have, like, when I found you guys on there, and then now that the doc has gone over there, it's kind of hitting a different area, I guess. I don't know how big it's going to be. Twitch is obviously, I think, going to be the number one situation in there. But I know you guys, like you said, you still have your videos up on there. And I noticed you guys used to play Rocket League, and I haven't seen you guys play that in a while. But that was also years. It was like years ago when you guys did that. So, what was the reason you guys actually wanted to start streaming? Who was the one that actually wanted to do it first? Because I'm assuming it was probably one of your guys' ideas.
From what I recall, we both made comments in the past about it because we both watched streams a lot. I guess I don't specifically remember like the moment where we decided to do it, but we both were interested in doing it. And we more just kind of wanted to give it a try. And I believe it was, 2 years ago now when we started, like one Christmas break, we just said we're doing it. And then we just went out and bought a mic, took a webcam that we had and just set the thing up and just started going after it, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
I think so. It all started, we'd always talk with each other when I was still in school, so like 2017, 2018. And like he said, we grew up playing League, watching League on Twitch, watching on Cutie Pie and his cats.
And the odd one.
Yeah, and the odd one. And Dyrus. But we always were watching streams, and right as I finished school, I came back home. We were both living at home at the time, and we just said, we're going to go for it. So we were talking about it while I was finishing school, and as soon as I finished school, we just said, we're just going to go for it. So we went, bought our camera we had, we literally taped our camera on the corner of our attic on the wall.
Because we didn't really know how to incorporate both of us
together
when we were streaming in the same room, like on an L desk. So like we've come a long way since we started. We also had like a lot of friends who would tell us that we should start streaming because we were hilarious when we were playing together. So that was also kind of part of it too.
Yeah, I think why we did it is because we saw a part of us that's very unique. Like we're brothers, and obviously we yell at each other, scream at each other, we rip each other apart. And to be able to see that like in a video game and how we interact with each other is where we kind of that was our niche. Like that's how we're gonna separate ourselves. Now going into it, like we have full-time jobs. We're not trying to make it huge. We're just here for the engagement. We like the interaction with our friends and people all over the world. Um, but that was the big reason we felt like with our connection and our relationship we have that we could utilize that on stream and full time we're engineers, which is I think a big reason why we like to play around with the software, the hardware, uh, with the streaming. So it kind of just puts everything together for us that our inner nerd gets to come out. We get to hang out with our friends and people from across the country in our community, and also get to check other streamers out like you, Johnny. So that's what I would say is our big niche.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming and check me out. That's the cool thing of when you watch Bros That Stream is you don't see a whole lot of streamers with somebody else. It's just the one person, and you got to sit and you got to talk to chat. Do you guys find that easier that you have each other to kind of talk to kind of keep the conversation going? Do you find it difficult to pay attention to chat while you're doing that as well? Because I know a couple of guys that they get kind of frustrated. They have like one or two people in there and no one's talking in chat, and they find it very difficult to get a conversation going because they have no one else to talk to. Do you think that's a really good thing for you guys? You guys can feed off each other, and when you watch you guys play, you and like you said, I can see the fun that you guys have. And the biggest thing is for viewers to actually see the streamers having fun and you guys kind of play off each other. Do you find it easier to have each other there versus just being a solo?
Yeah, I don't know. I personally find it a lot easier because no matter how bad the stream gets, you always have one viewer and your viewer's right next to you. And so it's a lot easier to bounce back, comments or tips or, what are we going to do next here? So I find it a lot easier. I don't know how people by themselves do it.
Yeah, so like we both individually and randomly have streamed by ourselves. I mean, it's not even close. It is so much easier to stream with Oz. And Catherine here too, our manager, she also really helps the stream a lot. Just engaging with chat and just talking to us, keeping us going. Because otherwise, like, we would just get so negative that I mean, it just keeps your spirits up, just having someone else there to kind of talk to. Otherwise, your stream you'll get real quiet. At least that's how I am. You gotta. Otherwise, I'll just get too competitive, and then after a couple hours, it's like the stream would just be awful. So
I used to have bets with some guys that I would sit and I would play video games with, and chat would kind of go really well, and then everyone said I talked a whole lot, and that's just the one thing I do. I love talking. I think I like to hear my own voice. And they were just like, "Hey, chat, no one say anything," because I made a bet. I was like, I can talk to myself for an hour. And they said, "All right, nobody fucking talk in chat." And yeah, I just kept going. I think I was about 32 minutes in.
So that's it.
I don't know. It's something about sitting in a studio, sitting in front of a monitor, doing something that I love. I could sit and talk to myself for hours. With a radio background in college, you had to write your own commercials, you had to do all this stuff. So I don't know. To me, it was something I really enjoyed, and I don't mind talking to myself. So that's why it's really interesting watching you guys and watching you guys interact. It's a really cool thing to see. And I was just kind of wondering how you guys felt on that scenario. If you guys were comfortable being by yourself or just more comfortable together. Now, when you guys first started, did you have like any jitters? Were you nervous at all? You don't seem like nervous guys to me.
I would say we're just good at hiding it. I mean, at first, definitely we had nerves.
I'd say I'm probably going to take this question a little different than I don't think we were nervous, but we have brought people on like for Cat's clips. Mm-hmm. So Catherine like cuts people's hair. And like I can tell that they get nervous.
Yeah.
Just for like being on like a 30-minute stream. So I don't know. Like once you get in the game, it's just like you kind of almost forget you're streaming sometimes. So I wouldn't really say we ever really got nervous.
I think for you guys, something to take away is you guys, like, you were always like, we're just going to do it with our friends. Like, it's something to hang out with our friends, so, like, watch us stream. So you guys went in with that mindset that it's just we're hanging out with our friends. And that's just kind of how you guys act. Like, everyone is your friend when they kind of come in. And so it doesn't really make you all that nervous when you start streaming like that. You have that positive attitude, I guess.
And we were like fortunate enough to have like solid base of gaming friends who supported us right off the bat, so that helped us a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's always a good thing to have. I noticed when I first started streaming, I was kind of nervous about it. I had this ratty fucking setup. I just had a little table desk in front of me, and I had to stack up DVDs, and I put my PlayStation 4 camera in front of me, and I had a little holder for my phone so I could read chat, whatever they was saying. And the people I was playing with, like, I went all out. I was writing shows, and I was like, this is the topic we can talk about. I'll bring this up. And they were all geared and ready to go for it. There's like, yeah, it's going to be fucking sweet. The second I hit the live button, they just went quiet.
Yikes.
And they froze. And the whole entire, I had everything written out for at least an hour and a half. We went through everything, and they were giving me just one word answers. Like, yeah.
Jeez.
Dude, it was one of the toughest things I ever had to do. And then it kind of took a turn where I decided I was gonna stream, and I was just gonna do solo stuff and talk to random people, because the random people ain't gonna know that they're on a stream unless they actually hear me talk to chat, which I've gotten pretty good at muting my mic so they can't hear that, because then you get the people who, oh, are you streaming? And then they say stupid shit.
Yeah.
You pretty much gotta jump ship from there, and you're like, God damn it. But yeah, I've had some friends, and they freeze, and it's a horrible thing, because that made me, I think, have to be the one to actually sit and talk to myself. And other than that, man, it just kind of went off from there. So I'm glad to hear as well that you guys have each other. You guys had a ratty setup too, because I like your guys' setup a lot. I really, really do. You guys used to do the fish cam. I'm not sure if you guys still do that or not.
We still have it, but it kind of depends on like the game that we're playing, if it allows us to really show it. So.
And if Matt changed the time.
But yeah, I mean, we didn't. That's awesome that you like developed that skill to kind of just like talk and entertain people by yourself. But Oz and I really never had that, since we always had each other. So we've never, which is probably why we are much more comfortable when we're streaming together. So
and one of the things I first told Matt when I like started watching his streams is, I'm like, Matt, this dude's got a radio and film background. And the first thing Matt said after he heard you talk is the dude could talk so well. And I'm like, I know,
it
man.
seriously is. I'm like, yeah, he has the voice.
He's got the voice. He even has like the.
We don't have that voice.
And that's something we don't have.
Voice, yeah.
We don't have it. We just accept. We will never have it. We're nerdy engineers, and we gotta live with it. So.
Well, like we were discussing earlier before we went live too, is I wasn't always the best talker, and back in the elementary school, I had to go to speech therapy. My sister had to translate for me. I wasn't the best speaker, and I don't know if it was just later on in life where it clicked in my head where I was like, all right, so I went to speech therapy. I wasn't able to talk. Now I got to fucking talk constantly. And if you listen closely, I will fuck up words all the time, and it will sound like I slur my words, and I haven't even had a drink in me. So I think it's something for me in my brain. I need to talk, and that's just always been something with me. And I'm not sure about you guys at all, but I think the happiest moment I've ever had in my life was when I went to college, was actually sitting in a studio having a microphone in front of my mouth. Like, that to me is one of the most biggest adrenaline rushes, and then everything just kind of flows out the way that I hope it would. So I appreciate you guys saying that you think I can talk, because there was times, dude, I didn't think I was that good of a talker.
Oh, that's crazy. You went from not being able to talk, to going to college.
That's exaggeration.
Okay, but yeah, I'm going to stretch it. So you had struggles speaking, okay, and then you go to college for radio and film. You host your own radio show, which I know because you talk about your streams. I know they probably don't. To now, you have your own podcast, you live stream twice a week. Like, it's crazy to see how far something like that could go.
Mm-hmm.
Were your friends like really excited watching you kind of start your stream and to see where it's developed now? Are they like really impressed? Are they just like, dude, you guys are hitting this hard and you're doing so well? Were they impressed to kind of see it grow the way that it did?
That's a good question. I don't know. I
know
mean,
my
there's like different segments, I guess. Like some people don't really understand
yeah.
what it is that we do, and
Like-
then other ones like tune in a lot, like weekly.
They definitely
So-
get excited when they're like included in chat. You know, like they're definitely super excited when they pop in and they get to like talk to us and like make fun of the guys, and that's
Yeah, I guess
that's when
to
they
answer
get
your question
mostly
more
excited.
directly, I don't know if they necessarily know or care about how well the stream's doing in general, but they just like to come in and talk to us and talk to everybody else who comes in weekly, if that makes sense.
And I know, like, especially my close friends, a lot of them are like out around the country, and like I'll have people, they'll say like, "Hey, we don't know what video game you're playing, but we'll be making dinner and we'll just stop in and say hi to chat." And those are the moments that means the most to me, because like they see it as a way to say hi to us, stay in touch with us while they're around the country, like from California to East Coast. But it means a lot to me to see them just pop in, even though if they don't know the game. Say hi for 10, 20 minutes, see how things are going, come back a week later or whatever. But I think they're probably proud that we're making it last so long. And I think the key to making it last so long for us is that we enjoy it. And it's just a back and forth. They stop by, we feel good about ourselves, we continue to do it. So
I think they like that we do the stream.
Yeah.
Because it gives them an opportunity to talk to us as well as other people that stop by the stream. So
Mhm.
Well, it's always a really cool thing, and I've said it multiple times too, where someone's taken time out of their day to actually sit and watch you do something that you love. So to have like even if it's one or two people, man, someone coming in taking time out of their day to just want to hang out with you. That's one of the greatest feelings that I think you can ever feel.
Yeah, agree.
And when you guys said to Matt, when you said that, you know, a lot of people don't understand what you're doing. Are you talking like friends? You talking family members? Like who you talking about?
both.
Yeah. Especially if
It's not like a complaint, but they
Yeah.
don't like they wouldn't really know what like success is. They just want us to do something that we like doing. I guess that's more where I was going with that, but they don't understand like what good even is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, now when you look at success, are you talking about like someone as big as like Shroud or Ninja or something like that? Would you consider that success, or would you consider success of, you know, even being in talks for partnership?
Like, are you meaning like if I'm looking at a general streamer, what would I deem as successful?
Right.
Or are you talking about what?
Like for you.
Well, for me, it's not really about any of that. But for a general streamer, I would say like if you get some type of like affiliation with some type of brand, that would mean you're successful. Largely because that would, to me, tell me that you have some type of decent level of engagement that's consistent. So,
But I think, well, from our standpoint, like we're not in it for the big partnerships. You know, we have full-time jobs. Those are people that do this full-time. What would you consider to be success for us, I guess?
Like how would you guys
Just
measure
having
your
fun.
own success?
Yeah. As long as we wake up every day and we go to work and we're continuing to think about, you know, the excitement of streaming later that day. As soon as I lose that, I think we should give up streaming. But that continues to be something I think about at work, as I look forward to whether it's me gaming League like a nerd, or Cat cutting hair live on stream, or Matt playing FIFA. Just being able to look forward to that, you know, on a Tuesday or Thursday, whatever day it might be, is what I look forward to in every day at work. So as soon as that stops, we'll cut it off. But the engagement we get, the support we get from everybody is very much appreciated, and definitely helps us coming back.
Perfect. That's probably the most perfect answer I've ever heard, because I've had some people stop in before and say, "Oh, like you should go full time," and I never in my life want to be a full time streamer. Just for the fact of you have to sit down for so many hours. Don't get me wrong, I love video games. They're a lot of fun. I did one 12-hour stream, and I was just done with that. I did not want to do it. And when I really hit streaming hard, and it's where I found where I was getting a lot of people in there, and it was cool to see, but it felt like a second job.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
if you watch a streamer that's not having a good time, like they're playing a game they don't want to play, but for some reason they have to play it because it's the number one game to play, you can tell when someone's not having a good time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I know you speak on it a lot too, Johnny. Like during your streams, you said how you kind of went in waves of like streaming all the time, and like you said, as soon as it felt like a second job, you cut it off and you took like a month off. And I think that speaks volumes because I learned off that because during the summer when we're living our lives, we're at the lake, we're golfing, we don't stream as much, and we're okay with that. And I know our community is too; they have lives as well. And as soon as, like you said, as soon as you start streaming, and it feels like a second job, you're not doing it for the right reasons, and ultimately, I think you streaming is gonna be affected by it too negatively. So. I agree with that statement 100%.
Yeah, there's people that they don't understand that the streamers have lives as well, and you guys seem like kind of the going out and doing a lot of things. I've watched on YouTube, like you guys like to golf. You guys, I think you went diving one time. You guys do a lot of outdoor type things, and I think if you were actually stuck in front of a screen the entire time just playing video games, I don't think you'd be as happy.
Yeah, and being from Wisconsin, you too, John, you know you gotta be outside here. You gotta enjoy the warm months as they come, and there's even fun stuff to do in the winter. But I think that's another cool part about both of us, Johnny, is that I remember finding you on Instagram because you had a post that had the hashtag Wisconsin Gamer or something like that. And ultimately, like at the end of the day, I think the reason we found each other is because of Instagram. So shout out Instagram.
Yeah,
But being both from Wisconsin, I think we can relate to, just like you said. We're outdoors people, especially during the warmer months. But I think that connection that we have, being both from Wisconsin, is definitely something that is huge. And I think, which is awesome for this podcast as well.
Yeah, I honestly thought I was never gonna find another Wisconsin streamer because when you talk about streaming, like you go to a bar, you talk about streaming, you go somewhere, not a lot of people understand what the hell it's all about.
No, you're spot on.
So that's where I can relate with you guys too, of people not really understanding what you're doing. My family's the same way. They still haven't even come around, dude. They honestly think like, oh, this is what you want to do for a living. No, I'm not doing this for a living. I'm doing this kind of as a hobby, as a little side gig, because it's something I enjoy.
Yeah, no, we call it our side hustle. So we're full time. We're both engineers, but our side gig is streaming. And I think what people don't understand, and one thing I didn't really understand before I got into it, is how difficult streaming is when you're playing a video game, trying to figure out what's going on in the video game, planning yourself while having to look to the side, read chat, engage with that. There's so much going on that someone watching and not really understanding it have no clue how taxing it is physically.
Yeah, that's the worst, and I've told people multiple times, you're never gonna see A-list gaming from me, and when chat gets going really fast and I can't keep up, I stop playing the game pretty much, and I just read chat because I'm more of a talker than I am actually gonna put on a really good show, gaming wise. But the one thing I think is cool is Kat. When I was there yesterday, Kat the manager, which was with a C, don't put a K.
Yes.
It's not cool. The only reason I said K last time is because I dated a girl. Her name was Kat, and it was with a K, and that's I was like, I don't know if this is how it's spelled. But Kat, you were reading the chat for Matt and Oz. Is that something that you normally do?
Oh yeah, that's every time.
It's
That's
huge.
like it's my job.
It's so
the whole
huge.
reason to keep me.
That and make sure you engage in that Discord too, right?
Yes, always, every day. No, yeah, I started doing that for them like right away because like when they first started streaming, it was so tough for them to pay attention to the game, scream at each other, and also like read. And I noticed they were like missing people's comments. And so I just went ahead and just started reading it. And if you go back in some of the videos, I'll be like on the couch reading chat to them off of the iPad.
Yeah, nothing's worse than like meeting up with someone and being like, "Hey, did you see my comments in chat?" And just being like, "No," it feels so bad. But yeah, it's tough to always get every comment, but when you miss one, someone takes the time out of the day to stop by and you miss it. It sucks. So Kat's a big help in that department, and she does a good job of engaging, and she's a big help on BTS. So shout out to Kat.
Thank you.
It's a horrible thing when someone says something in chat and you don't read it right away or you don't see it right away because you are engaged with the game. I always feel horrible about it, and I've always felt there's like a 30-second window where if you go into someone's stream and you say something and they don't respond back within 30 seconds to a minute, they could be gone. You got a 30-second window that you try to read that, and I always feel horrible. And that's the biggest thing for me is I never want someone to come in to feel like, oh, he's just ignoring me. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to pay attention to the game. So that's why you'll see me look at chat way more often to pay attention to the game. And I think that's probably why I suck at it too.
Whenever I would come by a stream within minutes, I'll watch for a couple minutes and then I have a second to actually go and chat. Like seconds later, you're responding. So I think it's one nice part about Twitch is I think the feedback's quicker on Twitch where YouTube is a little bit longer of a delay.
Feedback is so quick.
It definitely is.
YouTube does have a really big delay. Did you go on Mixer at all?
No.
Dude,
no.
It was instant. It was an instant. Like the second they push enter, you could read it. That's the one thing I loved about Mixer. It was a very instant response you could get.
Interesting. Overall, what was that like the best part about Mixer? What other things did you like or not like so much about Mixer?
Mixer, I enjoyed it because you could respond so fast. That was one thing that drew me to it. But then, like I said, Twitch has kind of hit this weird. It's in this weird spot right now between the terms of service or what you can do on stream, what you can't do on stream. There's a very controversial thing on it. I have put myself out there multiple times of going on these kind of like rampage of being angry because of certain things people get banned for on Twitch, but certain people get away with it. And that's the one thing that's always been in the back of Twitch's mind. Whoever the hell is running that, the whole terms of service thing, I think sometimes is kind of bullshit. But there was times where I was like, hey, I'm going to do some shit to see if I get fucking banned. They ain't going to ban me because I'm one of the smallest streamers on there. I'm not a big streamer. If I did something and I was huge and I was partnered, then yeah, you got an instant ban. Like, for example, I won't say names of the streamers because obviously I don't want to get in trouble for that. There was a female streamer who got caught. She forgot to turn her camera off, which I highly doubt that. She ended up taking her shirt off and tits were flopping around everywhere. And she got banned for only 24 hours, and during her ban, she got partnered. No way in hell would that happen for anybody else.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I follow like live stream fails and people always post videos of what got people banned, and she got a partnership. That's crazy.
Yeah, as she was banned, she got partnered.
That's actually hilarious.
It was something to me, and I think that was another part of like why I went to Mixer, because they had a very, very strict terms of service where everyone had to be covered. You could show no cleavage. Guys couldn't have their shirts off, which I see that on Twitch as well, which is against terms of service, but they're bigger streamers and they can kind of get away with it. And I've always had that in the back of my mind where Twitch is going in this really weird direction, and I find it harder, and this is a question I had for you guys too, of making the transfer over to Twitch. It's harder now because I'm not sure if you've noticed, but they got pro athletes on there, they have actors on there, and that to me, kudos to them to want to come to the gaming community. And I don't want to have sour grapes towards it at all, but it's like you're taking viewers away from people who have worked so hard to get these communities. Like, who would you rather watch? Would you rather watch, JonnyG or BrosThatStream or Jason Mewes, right? Everyone's gonna go to Jason Mewes.
Right.
So it's a tough thing to talk about. I've always been very open. on my streams when I've talked about it. But that's one thing that's always concerned me. Was there anything that you guys saw, whether anyone was talking about it, or anything that you saw with Twitch that was kind of sketchy to you at all?
I mean, I've heard various stories over the years of something similar to what you just described about their terms of service stuff. But to be honest, I've never really gotten too into it. I guess the one comment I'll make is, since over the last couple of years in particular, like the just chilling like game on Twitch, it has like blown up compared to what it used to be like 5-7 years ago. Like that wasn't a thing. Now people, it seems like, I mean, it's a huge part now. It's one of the biggest games on there. Is people just hanging out, which isn't bad, but it's just a different segment of the community that Twitch has grown. I think Twitch in some ways will be and it already is bigger than just playing games, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like sports too. Thursday Night Football. It's cool to see Thursday Night Football streams come into it. So from a sports standpoint, I think that's cool to see them come to the gaming industry to get some more viewers. And I only see it increasing going forward.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be a big aspect when NFL got on there. The just chilling thing, when that got me, I did watch a video on that too, where another female streamer just kind of came out and was like, "I'm so happy I don't have to pretend to like video games anymore, and you guys can just sit here and give me money." It's stuff like that that just fucking irks me, and it's like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding me right now? And that's why when you guys made the move to Twitch, I was just like, yeah, dude, super excited, and I hope you guys know that these videos are out there though. And Matt, obviously, you said that you've seen a couple of those, and I'm glad you guys came.
I just heard the complaints about it. So, I mean, YouTube has similar complaints I've heard as well. Maybe not on the streaming side, but just in general in videos too, with their terms of service. So, I don't think that's exclusive to Twitch, but
yeah, that's pretty much going to be anywhere that you go. But other than that, with the streaming wise, I know you guys have your videos on YouTube. So when you do your haircuts, now is that something that you're a cosmetologist, something you do on the side, something that only friends want you to do, or is that like, I guess these guys are engineers? What is it that you do for a full-time job? And because I thought cosmetologist right off the bat.
So I'm actually an occupational therapy assistant, and I work in mental health. That's what I do for like a living. But so during quarantine, whenever like the whole country was shut down, poor Matt over here was just going psycho because he couldn't get his hair cut, and his hair was just too long, and he just couldn't do it anymore. And so we all started brainstorming because Matt, I think he said something along the lines of, "Kat, by this point, you should just cut all my hair off, and I don't even care what it looks like because no one's gonna see it." And so Oz was like, "Dude, we should totally record this and just have Catherine cut your hair." So then we did it, and then at the end of the video, we jokingly but kind of seriously said "Hey, if you want to get your hair cut, sign up, Kat will cut it." And so from then on, we had one of our friends sign up and get his hair cut the next weekend, and then it kind of went off from there.
And also the gingerbread houses that you guys kind of went up against, and also the gingerbread cookies. Now, Kat seems to kind of dominate you boys in that. I want to know what actually happened to your gingerbread cookies that you guys attempted to make. Kat, obviously, she said that she had an old recipe from your grandmother, if I'm correct on that. What actually happened with those cookies, guys?
We have no
great question.
Yeah,
the current lead right now is that we didn't mix like the wet stuff well enough. And because of that, the butter didn't spread out to all the flour well, and it just looked super, super dry. I mean, that's an absolute guess, because as far as we can tell, we made one little mistake with the baking soda.
Well, that would do
but other than that, we followed them, and we were just nowhere close.
No, did Dad eat them?
No.
Yeah.
So he did eat ours. So a human being did eat ours. That
Right,
of course.
like, as
It
you can
was
see-
edible. It was edible.
as you can see in our video, we did actually create the cookies, but there was definitely a point in there where we didn't know if we'd be able to create any because nothing was sticking together.
Yeah, well, yeah. I watched the video and I watched you trying to roll it with the rolling pin.
Oh,
I was like, that's not happening.
This isn't right. Yeah, we're awful at baking. Apparently, I mean, we thought we'd be able to at least do something that made sense by just following the directions, but apparently it's not that simple. So,
And then
Well,
Cat's cookies came out perfectly.
Yeah,
Have you
I
heard-
saw that.
You hear me say, don't you know there's such a thing as under mixing and over mixing? And you undermixed.
yeah, we sure did.
Now, one of the weirdest things that you guys have told me, which I think it was during one of my streams, is your guys' mouth tape that you wear, I guess, when you sleep. And I actually did look that up as well. I actually did my own little research on it. I just want to hear what you guys find beneficial of it and why you started doing it. Because it made no sense to me when you told me about you cover your mouth when you sleep. To me, it's like you're gonna die. Like, don't do that. But then I started reading this article, and I'm not sure you guys have heard of him. It's Dr. Mark Burhenny, and I'm probably saying that last name wrong, but he's a dentist out of Sunnyvale, California. What are some of the benefits that you guys are seeing it, and why did you even start that?
So I'll let Matt start that. Well, I'll put on like our nightly outfit that we wear. So you can go, Matt.
Yeah, so this all originated from me. Okay. I'm like the guy who starts new things around here. All right. So I'm always looking to improve on stuff. And sleep, was just one of my targets a couple of years ago. And I don't know exactly how I got into it, but I just ran across this thing about mouth tape. And basically, there's like a lot of the reason you should or people suggest that you tape your mouth when you sleep is because you want to breathe through your nose like whenever you can. And that's like in general, like even when you're conscious or unconscious, there's like a lot of apparent benefits that come from breathing through your nose. Like that's how like normal animals breathe. They breathe all through their nose. Like mouth breathing, really, you really shouldn't ever be mouth breathing, to be honest. But maybe if you're like sprinting or something, you're really exhausted. But anyways, make a long story short, when you tape your mouth, you're forcing yourself to breathe through your nose. So you get less dehydrated at night, which I can tell you for a fact that is absolutely a thing. When you tape your mouth shut, you will wake up way less dehydrated in the morning. And when you're dehydrated in the morning, you're way more tired in the morning. Would you totally agree with that?
Yeah, and like the whole breathing through the nose, I remember you get more oxygen to your brain.
Yeah, you get more oxygen to your brain.
You don't lose as much water through your mouth at night, so you wake up less groggy. The grogginess for me was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like
noticeable.
It's extremely noticeable whether it's just a Tuesday night or a Saturday night after a couple of beverages. Like if you want to beat a hangover a little bit better, you make sure you mouth tape when you go to bed.
The last one I'd say too is that it, contrary to popular belief, it actually helps you keep like your nose like unplugged. So like I get allergies, like similar to probably a lot of people. But if you're continuously breathing through your nose like as much as possible, you won't get like that super clogged nose that I used to always get when I would just like mouth breathe at night, and all of a sudden you wake up in the morning, you literally can't take a breath through your nose because it's just so plugged. And actually through this too, I learned some techniques to actually help drain like my sinuses so I can actually breathe through my nose before I go to bed.
I know another
because there really isn't and like the other worry too is everybody thinks they're just gonna die, right? You're just gonna like stop breathing. That's not a thing.
Your body won't let you.
Yeah, unless you're like just hopped up on like hardcore drugs, your body will always wake you up.
And another benefit too is against snoring. So when you tape your mouth shut, it like helps hold your jaw up, and it like helps open the airway of your throat better, so it can get rid of snoring as well. So
it can subtly help with like sleep apnea. That's one of the because like one of the things like help with sleep apnea that you can get is you can get like these chin straps that go over your head like this, and it does what I was saying. It's the point of it is supposed to hold your jaw up, to prevent like your tongue from, I think, like falling back in your throat.
And then me and Matt are every night mouth tapers, but Kat isn't. Explain what's the deal with that, Kat?
It's terrifying. I one time was like peacefully asleep, okay, and then I woke up coughing and panicking because I couldn't freaking breathe, and I've never worn one since.
And did your body let you die?
No, but it was terrifying.
Yeah.
I felt like I was drowning. I think I dreamt that I was drowning.
See, that,
so Johnny, you
that
tried it?
I have not tried it, and I don't want. I mean, I kind of want to try it, but at the same time, I got way too much facial hair around my mouth, and I just don't think it's gonna be beneficial because I'll be ripping fucking beard hair out. And I had this weird vision in my head that I was gonna have like red rings around my lips. It looked like I had some weird STD or something. I wasn't sure about that, but the thing that I read, you guys pretty much hit them all. From the benefits that this doctor was saying was it released stress, anxiety, and it can actually help with ADHD. So that was very intriguing to me about that. And yes, it does say it improves your sleep. It will actually improve memory, and it will increase your immune system, which was really cool to see as well. But yeah, the dry mouth thing, that's 100%. On that, and with the sinus thing as well, it says it increases your nitric oxide production in your sinuses,
which is like a big deal.
Big words, big deal. All right.
As I was reading this, I was like, actually, these have a lot of benefits. It's a lot of benefit to do it. I would be just like Kat. I wouldn't want to do it. The only main thing for me is no spiders will go in my mouth because I'm fucking terrified of spiders. I do not like them at all. So that was definitely a plus for me as well.
Benefit.
So like this is just a random side note too that when I went down this rabbit hole I learned, which is I ran across this doctor who actually recommended like if you have like kids that you should send your kids to like some type of, I forgot the exact type of doctor, but basically like some type of doctor that would actually teach your kids at a young age and give them exercises like strengthen their tongue and to teach them how to breathe through their nose. Because like that you can actually mouth tape your children when they're younger, and it will teach them when they're younger to really breathe through their nose whenever they like. That should be like their main point. Because a lot of people like sleep apnea is like a huge deal. Like I forgot the percentage, but like the majority of people have it when they get older, especially males. And it's largely because their tongue is weak and their tongue falls back in their throat. And it is really bad for sleep when you get older. You have to get on those machines or whatever. A lot of people do those CPAP machines. So just some minutia out there for you guys to nibble on.
So overall, if you guys are looking to get into streaming, go for it. Mouth tape, go for it. You got BTS approval. And then one other benefit. So one of our good buddies, he's a dentist, and I think the doctor you said he's a dentist too, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
So our buddy said he's just finished up dental school right now, but he said that the mouth tape, with the keeping moisture in your mouth, it actually helps against like bacteria and in cavities. So it's got benefits in the dental hygiene world. So
I read that in there too. It said it will actually help teeth decay.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Your nose is for breathing. Just remember that, everybody. Your mouth is for eating.
Oh my God. No thanks.
You gotta give it a try, Johnny. I can't wait to hear about it.
I mean, I'll try.
Hey, beard. I don't have a beard as nearly as nice as yours, but around the lips, you just get used to it. You don't pull hairs out; they just tug a little bit. And if you saw before I actually put it on, a tip I've learned is you gotta get rid of the stickiness. So just get rid of the stickiness and then put it on at night, and then it comes off easier in the morning.
What if though I'm kind of a heavy breather when I sleep? See, another fear that I had is if I put it on my mouth, I'm gonna do like a big like a thing with my mouth, and I'm just gonna suck the tape down in my throat. Like that's another big fear that I had. Like if it's gonna slip off my lips, dude, and I'm just gonna end up eating the entire thing.
Well, the medical tape we bought's pretty strong, and our dad years ago, okay, way before we were born, said he would use mouth duct tape on his mouth.
I don't know if I believe that.
But so maybe that's where it all began for us. But the medical tape you can buy off Amazon is pretty cheap, reasonable for the quantity you can get, and definitely strong enough where I don't think you got to worry about that.
I don't know. I still have a big fear of it, but if I give it a try, I'll let you know.
Start doing a 20-minute nap. Start there.
Well, I heard that you can do it like throughout the day and like try to get your body used to it.
You could just literally like, if you're not gonna interact with people, just tape your mouth and just walk around. It will help you.
Just think
there's so many benefits to breathing through.
You're walking down the street, Johnny.
Or yeah, if you're just walking, just just even if it's for 2 minutes one day, you're just sitting at work, just say, okay, I'm gonna breathe through my nose for the next 2 minutes straight.
I mean, I guess you have to wear a mask now anyway. It's not like anyone's even gonna notice, you know, with the whole COVID shit going on right now. How did COVID affect you guys at all? Did you have to ever isolate yourselves? Did you actually have COVID? Did you have to go do a test? Did that thing affect you guys at all?
You can go, man.
I never got a test. I never got it. I went to. I guess I couldn't go. My work shut down for 1 week. Otherwise, I've been going into work every day. So, as far as work life, nothing really. Well, things changed at work, but me going to work didn't really get affected. I guess socially there were definitely impacts, but to be honest, compared to most people, I was very fortunate, to be honest, and very little impact, I would say. We also don't have grandparents, so we didn't really have to deal with that intense of that whole situation, dealing with that either. So,
how are you, Kat?
From March until like I don't know, July, June, something like that. I had to work from home, and I was very fortunate where at the time I was still living with his parents. They let me stay there so I could quarantine kind of with them and not be, alone in my little old apartment. So I was very lucky that they let me just hang out with them all day long, literally.
Yeah, so that was like a big deal.
Yeah.
We had like 5 people in our house.
Yeah.
We're like, I have friends who have apartments by themselves,
Exactly.
and it was a totally different scenario. We were very fortunate.
Yeah. I'm a lot like you, Johnny, where like I have to have some interaction and like talk with people. So if I had to just do FaceTime and live alone, I would have died. And then I did have to get tested once because my coworker had COVID, and unfortunately we worked like right next to each other, but I did not have it. So that was good.
And then for me, work still the same. I still go in every day. I had to start wearing masks in late February starting last year. So I was wearing the mask months before the whole mandate came. But fortunate enough to still have a job, still get a paycheck every week, going to work every day. And from a streaming standpoint, I just think it helped because I think more people are at home and willing to, tune into our stream because they're at home and they want some interaction with people. So we've definitely been amping it up this fall and into the winter as far as how often we stream and our content. So it's definitely keeping us busy.
That's good. Yeah, I got tested positive for COVID, which
right.
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing ever, man. Because I usually get sick around this time of year anyway, and then I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I think I was more of a stat. But I found myself. I live in my house all by myself. I mean, I got a dog and a cat, and it was pretty shitty. That I had to sit in my house, do absolutely nothing. Luckily, I went grocery shopping about a week beforehand. But I kind of felt isolated, like I was a prisoner or something. Like every so often, a family member or a friend would call me and just say, "Hey, do you need anything? I can swing by." Like obviously beer, which is it's a good thing that you have friends that will get you that. Because I bought a house in my hometown. Luckily, I had family members that were close by. But the whole exchange was weird because they would call me and say, "Hey, I left some food for you out on your porch." Yeah, I look through the window, I give them a little wave, and then they leave. I walk out my door, grab the food, come back inside. To me, it was such a weird scenario because I love to be around people. I love interacting with people, and luckily I had streaming that I could do that. But the whole actually in person being around people, I didn't think I was gonna miss that much, and I missed it. Like on day 3, I was like, "This fucking sucks."
Yeah, I remember you streaming on like day 3. You're like, this sucks. This absolutely sucks. All I do is stream and just sit here. I just remember watching you on stream and you're like anticipating the test results.
And back at it, dude. That's why I don't think I could ever be a full-time streamer. I don't think I could sit in my house and do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I need that human interaction. And when I would sit and I would really think about all the people that have been on lockdown since day 1, how in the hell they can do that, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Especially for like a couple of our buddies are like salesmen. It's like, obviously it's hard to sell something over Skype. And if that's literally your sole purpose of your job is to sell items, like how do you, feel any type of accomplishment? That's so brutal.
Yeah. Now going back to your guys' stream as well. You guys seem like pretty open dudes. You pretty much would talk about anything. Is there anything in your stream that you would say is off limits that you don't want nobody to talk about? You don't even want to see it in chat, and if you do, you kind of like throw it off to the side. Is there any like, I guess I would say, topic that you don't even want to discuss and you'll just dismiss?
I don't know. I think we're very transparent with what's going on in our daily lives or whatever. I think we try to just keep politics out of it. Like we've never actually had anybody bring up politics, which is one of the reasons I think why people like stopping by, because they know it's going to be a place where we don't talk about politics. How crazy 2020 was. It's crazy enough, and no one wants to stop by the stream and then have to deal with politics, talk, and chat. So I think we're pretty transparent, pretty much open to anything, but like try to stay away from the politics side of things. So
yeah, politics is always a very, very tricky thing. I never like to talk about that either. Even in my personal life, if someone asks me who I voted for or something like that, I don't even want to talk about it because it's just gonna start a fight. The one thing that just weirds me out is how someone can dismiss another person for who they are just because of how they voted. I've never understood that, and I'll never understand that. If you're a Democrat, Republican, liberal, whatever you are, just because they voted a certain way doesn't mean that person is a piece of shit. And that's always been a huge thing with me of like, I am now recently a single man, and I'd be swiping on the Tinder or on the Bumble or something, and you'll see like you'll see the whole, oh, if you're a Trump supporter, like fuck off, and it's like,
oh
really?
my God. Well, at least they put that there so not to even, mess with them, right?
But just to bring politics in something that as stupid as like a dating app.
But yeah, it's like we're here to play video games and talk to each other, not talk politics. Like you can come to us, we'll talk politics, person to person anytime. But there's a time and place, and when we're streaming, it's definitely not there.
I had a huge thing for a while. I got really into learning about Scientology, and that was a fun thing to fucking talk about with people. I want to talk to a Scientologist so fucking bad. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Scientology. One of the craziest fucking religions, I guess you can say. To say that they are, but it's not. I did so much research where I literally I couldn't watch any more videos because I've already watched them all. But that's such a crazy thing to talk about, and if you get caught talking about it by somebody in Scientology, like I forgot what they call it, but it's like they'll shame you. Like they will try to pick up everything off your past and try to throw it in your face. They will come to your house. They'll put signs in your yard. And my biggest thing was like, you're supposed to be a church. You're a religion. Like, why would you be attacking people like that? Very interesting. Just how you told me to check out Chernobyl. I highly recommend check out Scientology and see how crazy those people are. And to me, it's a cult. I'll let you make up your own mind. But yeah, it's a crazy fucking rabbit hole to get down.
It's psycho. I remember who's the actress who was on The King of Queens?
Leah Remini.
Yes, she used to be in Scientology, and now she like talks out against it. And isn't she kind of like shamed by the Scientology church or whatever?
Yeah, the thing is, when you leave Scientology, anyone that is still in the church, they're not supposed to be even in contact with you. She's the one that got me into it because I love King of Queens. It's one of my favorite shows ever. And I didn't know she was in Scientology at the time. And then I saw her show, Leah Remini, speaks out against Scientology. That's what got me so intrigued. And I found out, I want to say a couple months ago, that now one of their top guys are leaving. I'm not sure if it's 100% confirmed or not, but I heard Tom Cruise is going to be leaving now because they have a thing called Disconnect where if you have kids, they go off and they call it the Sea Org. So they have to go off to the Sea Org, and you're not even allowed to see your kids. Scientology raises your kids.
What the frick? I just don't even understand what Scientology is. Like, they just believe in science? Like, that's what it sounds like to me.
No, okay. I'll kind of go on a little bit of a rant of it. So they have their leader that came up with Scientology. It's like L.L. Hubbard, I want to say is his name. It's been a while since I've really looked. It's Hubbard something. The guy was a science fiction author.
Okay.
And so he created Scientology. So from my understanding, and if anyone is into Scientology or is really into it, or if you are a Scientologist as well, feel free, say something in comments. From my understanding is you are made out of multiple different organisms. That is how you are viewed. It's not like you have a soul. It's like you have multiple different organisms. You are created by like billions and billions of different organisms that are like alien, not from this planet. And to me, like in my head, I'm like, this guy's a science fiction author. Like, how are you guys thinking that this guy knows this? And still to this day, every morning they have to set out clothes on his bed, and they have to make, because when he comes back, they want to make sure they're prepared for when he comes back after he died. And their excuse when he died was he no longer had a use for the human body that he was in.
How creepy. Interesting.
Wow. Yeah, we'll have to look into that. That sounds interesting.
I'm telling you, watch some stuff on Scientology and just kind of come up with your own opinion. I don't. I would never hate anybody in their life for anything. Whatever your religion is, whatever your politics are, I'm not going to hate you because you're a human being. If you're a really cool person, I'm going to sit and talk to you. I want to actually just have a discussion, and I've had this as well when I was on lockdown. I watched a lot of things about cults, and of course Scientology was on there. One that I figured out was they said Jehovah's Witness was a cult. So I watched that one, and it's pretty similar to some of the stuff that's going on in Scientology. So now I want to, and once again, not gonna hate them, not gonna even like remotely make fun of them. Just have a question. If I have a Jehovah's Witness come to my house, I just want to say, hey, can you sit down? I will listen to your entire spiel. Whatever you want, you have as many hours as you want of my day if you will sit down and watch this 40-minute episode with me. And I want to see if this is true, because I want to know if these guys that are reporting this or people that have spoke out about it, I want to see if this is actually a true scenario that's happening within the Jehovah's Witness, because I never would have thought that was a cult until I watched this. But then again, documentaries, they can kind of spin things certain ways to kind of get you on their side. So I always try to see both sides. So I think that would be very interesting.
I actually had a friend in high school who was a Jehovah's Witness, but her family was Jehovah's Witness, but she did not want to be a Jehovah's Witness, so her parents would kick her out if she wouldn't follow the rules, so to speak. Right. And I think now, one of the rules was she couldn't have a boyfriend, okay? And she had a boyfriend, and then they caught her, and then they like kicked her out, and she had to go and sleep on like a friend's couch or something,
Oh.
and she wasn't allowed back until, gosh, I don't know, until like she was gonna follow the rules, I guess. And I think now looking at her Facebook, she like lives a happy, normal life because she's probably 25 now too, and just like can be an adult and like do her own thing because she's out of the Jehovah Witness life. But you're right, she would say quite a lot of things where you'd kind of be like, "What? You guys do what?"
Jeez.
Yeah, it kind of blows your mind when you hear stories like that. Living on the couch, man. I've been there. I've been there. I've had those situations where I felt like I hit, rock bottom. But that was a crazy thing in college too. Was there's a lot of things that went down, but sitting in front of dual monitors, a microphone in my face, it's something that's always brought joy to me. What would you guys say brings the most joy to you in your life, whether it's streaming or not? Matt, I'm sure it's golf. For some reason, everyone says you're obsessed with golf.
Oh my god, he's so obsessed.
Yeah, Matt, what are your
Tell everyone
thoughts?
at the lab.
I'm obsessed. Yeah,
That's fair.
You admit it.
I respect that.
I probably got obsessed within the last year. So I got a 7-iron garage right now, so I can take full swings in my garage in the winter. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, he's got his own net, his own
Hitting mat.
turf mat.
Mm-hmm.
The boat's out of the garage. He's got all the space he needs, and he goes out in the lab. That's his happy place.
Yeah.
Kat, what's yours?
My what? Obsession?
Your happy place.
I'm also trying to get into crossword puzzles too.
Mm.
Kat and I are trying to get into them. Crossword puzzle a day.
Mm-hmm.
Does it keep the doctor away?
Keeps your mind moving.
Keeps your mind moving. Breathe through your quote it from Matt. Breathe through your nose and do a crossword a day. I guess mine would be just I really, really enjoy streaming. I like the engagement. I like to continue to play video games, which I've always loved. Especially competitive video games like League. Get to play with the boys. Nothing better than playing Clash with the boys on the weekend. And then I like golfing, working out, and continuing to stay busy with electronics or hardware, software, whether it's Streamlabs OBS or Alias and Nightbot commands, stuff like that. I find that stuff enjoyable.
We're big Packer fans too, so
Yeah, Packers.
we'll be going into the Super Bowl this February in Tampa Bay.
Number 12 will be playing.
Number 12 will be playing. Working out, man. I had to take some time off of it, and I got back into it again. Dude, I'm fucking sore.
Dude, tell
Did you have leg day?
Tell Matt and Kat about your journey. I know more about it than them, but you've come a long way, Johnny.
Yeah, I cut probably close to 40 pounds in about 2 months.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was not easy. I just I decided, I was like, God, I'm getting to this point where I'm sitting around, I'm not doing anything, and I felt like I was just losing energy, and something just kind of tripped in my brain of like, I remember back when I lived over in Minnesota and I was working at 3M, I used to love leaving work, getting home, working out, showering, and then I would go hang out with friends. It was something about, I think they say it's the endorphins or something that, kind of goes through your body. And I just decided, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this, and I have to hit it hard. So I went out and I bought like $300 worth of equipment that I put down in my basement. And the weirdest thing was when I first started, I was like, I'm going to listen to some like hardcore metal music. That's going to get me in the mood. That's what I used to listen to, and I don't. And the weird thing is, I actually listen to like inspirational, motivational videos because it seems like you have a coach there yelling at you, telling you you got to do better and you got to do this, and that's kind of what got me. And I was doing it 5 nights a week, and I don't do legs. I hate doing legs, so I would do the same workout for 5 days a week. It got to a point where randomly I'd be at work or I'd be laying in bed and my arms would go numb. And I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And then my back started to hurt really bad. I couldn't breathe anymore, and I was like, something's going on. So I ended up having to go see a physical therapist who she pinpointed right away what was happening. Oh, and I also tried running, and fuck that, I'm a smoker. So I ran for a day, and then I cut that out of there. But she found out what was going on, and it turns out that I wasn't allowing my muscles to recoup. She made me go through my entire workout with her, so I did that. And she's like, and how many times are you doing this? I'm like, 5 days a week. She's like, absolutely not. You can't be doing that. So apparently my muscles were kind of putting strain on some nerves, and that's why I was losing feeling in my arms. So they cut me back to 3 days a week. And yeah, it was a really, really good thing. I wanted to get down to 185. I got down to 190, and then the holidays hit, and it's just been tough ever since. I jumped back up to 198 about a week ago, and I'm back down to 195. So, yeah, I started my journey around 235 pounds.
That is so awesome.
That's crazy.
Good job.
That's amazing.
Did
Big props.
your doctor tell you that you should be like deloading or like taking a break for a week, like every 4 to 6 weeks?
Yeah, she told me pretty much when I went in there, take a week off.
Most people don't do that, but like you actually gain more muscle. It's actually better for you to do that.
See, I am gaining muscle. With all my breaks.
Yeah, and I've always read like 8 weeks.
Because
Like every 8 weeks
yeah,
you take a
I
week
mean,
off.
it could be different. Yeah, but like you really do want to take those breaks because you're not giving your body a chance to actually recover. You want to take that week off so your body actually fully recovers so you can lift more weight. Because the process of you lifting is you're tearing your muscle fibers. So you need to at some point like actually give your body a break to like fully get back so you can continue to lift more. If that's what your goal is.
Yeah.
For what
I never wanted the big muscles. I never really wanted. I just wanted to tone. You know, I was getting a little bit to the point where brushing my teeth and my tits are flopping around. And I wanted to leave that point in my life and put that behind me. So I was just like, I just want to tone, you know. So that's what I did. And then she told me, you know, take this week off. You got to let your body recoup. And she did this really cool thing where I laid on my back, and it was like she was going to rip my head off, but she didn't. And it helped my spine. It spread it out. Best feeling in the world. And then I got back into lifting, and now I'm sore. But she told me it's okay to go every other day. Do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have the weekend off. And then she's like, the next week, you know, do a little bit lighter. You can do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but do a little bit lighter. Don't push yourself the way that you did. But yeah, it's been a pretty long journey. I was telling everyone that at 185, I was going to trim my beard. A lot of people thought I meant cut it off, and no, I was not going to ever cut it off.
That would have been 5 pounds.
Yeah, that's what everyone said. When I hit 190, everyone's like, just shave the fucking beard. And there you go. You hit 185.
Just shave the beard. Oh, man. No, that's awesome, Johnny. I know when I started watching you, was probably when you were on the 235 like you talked about, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to start working out. And to see you now where you are, and even just watching you on stream and on Instagram, you can tell you're a lot slimmer. It's a good look.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a look that I had, I think, when I was more of a junior and senior in high school. So it's really cool. And when I looked at a picture, I was actually down in Texas to go see my grandma. I saw a picture, and I think that was the one picture, and if I can find it, I'll send it to you. The one picture that I saw when I was like, holy fuck, John, you're fat. Like, it's crazy how a picture will fucking change your entire life.
It gives you a totally different perspective than what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, if there's one thing, I'm just gonna please start doing squats. Okay, that's it. That's all you gotta do is just do some squats once a week.
It's the best day.
Or once every other
Leg
week.
day is the best day. You get the best burn. I don't know about you guys, but
You will
I sweat the most.
you will feel so sore, Johnny. you will feel so sore, especially if you haven't done it in a long time.
I say do what you do, Johnny. You keep doing it.
I already got these tree trunks that I call legs anyway.
There we go.
You want to sculpt those trunks, Johnny? Come on.
I've just never been one for leg day. It's never been my thing. I did bring in jumping jacks, so there's my cardio.
There
All
you
right.
go. There we go. Whatever works.
That's something.
Yeah,
Good.
jumping jacks are involved now, so that at least I can hang my hat on. If you when you guys first did your streaming and everything like that, was there an inspiration that you guys had at all? Like who inspired you to stream, or is it just something that you just decided, fuck it, we're doing it?
I don't know. I think for me, it's more just I don't know if it's someone inspiring me, but just wanting to do what I enjoy doing, and that's playing video games and talking with people, and it brings them both together. So that's kind of like my piece of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that anybody inspired us, but I will say, just to continue the conversation here, the thing that really got Oz and I into watching streams was TSM or Team Solo Mid back when they first started their League of Legends team back in 2011,
TSM.
2012. That's when they didn't inspire us, but they were the ones who got us into watching streams.
The concept of watching someone else play
if you would have asked me leaving high school. So I started college in 2010. If you would have told me that I would have been watching someone playing a video game when I was graduating high school, I would have laughed in your face.
Yeah.
But literally within a year and a half from that point, I was watching the odd one literally every day.
Or Dyrus with his pillow.
Yeah.
And that concept of watching someone else play a video game, why don't you just go play yourself?
They opened the door to this whole new world for us.
Yeah. And our parents would say, why do you watch them play a video? Just go play yourself. It's well, why do you watch the Green Bay Packers poop on the Vikings every Sunday? Just go play football in the backyard yourself. There's an entertainment piece of watching someone play the game that you play, so you can relate to it. I understand the mechanics you did, or I know how hard it is to
you understand the community,
break that tackle. Right. You understand the community. You make new friends, new connections. You learn. I'm pretty competitive in League, so when I learn things from other streamers, I usually follow them and continue to learn from them. But it is a weird concept. But I think looking back, laughing at the concept of watching someone play video game, we'll laugh at us ever laughing.
You remember when we first tried to get people to start playing League and watching streams and stuff?
Yeah. It's
some of that make fun of us are now more obsessed than Ike and I am with the game.
And they'll watch us stream, and I'll always joke around why watch us stream? Just go play, But it's just funny how it all came full circle.
That's good. That was a really weird transition that we were talking about working out, and then I just asked that question. I just noticed, I looked down at my notepad, and that was a question that I had on there. So yeah, weird transition. Sorry about that, guys.
I have one other thing about the working out thing, which is Oz and I both have inversion tables that we love them for golf because it really stresses out our lower back, and they're amazing. I just figured I'd throw that out there.
And during our streams, when I was streaming by myself in between League games or FIFA games, whatever, I'll pull the inversion table. It's actually right next to us. I'll pull in front of the camera, and in between games, I'll just invert for 5 minutes.
For anybody that doesn't know what an inversion table is, you basically are sitting on a platform, and then you tilt yourself at different angles, where your feet would be up here and your head is down here.
Right.
And you can go from 90 to 45 or whatever, but it helps stretch out your back. It decompresses it.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that when I was down talking with my cousin. We were talking about those things, and I kind of wanted to get one as well because I noticed, sitting down streaming for a long time, it does get pretty sore in the back. I actually do have a massager thing where I can put it on the back of my gaming chair, and it's just nice. I get a full back massage for at least a good 30 minutes before it kind of shuts down. So yeah, I actually thought about getting one of those tables that you're talking about that will actually hang you upside down. That's actually a pretty good idea.
The big downside to them is unless you get a nice one that can fold easily, is they take up floor space. But
yeah,
if you have the floor space,
You got that studio, Johnny. A lot of real estate.
I got the studio now, so a lot of shit that can go back here. I do want to get like a little mini fridge, and I was kind of thinking of getting a JonnyG in the morning,
Nice.
like a neon sign, and I can actually switch the lights to a different color. I think green is kind of the way to go right now. I think it's got the best lighting. The red looks really weird.
Yeah, you were talking about those neon signs in your stream the other day. Where do you get those? And like, can you customize them?
Yeah, you can get them customized. There's a couple of websites that I found that you can get them customized, and I think it's only like $80. So it's not that bad. I don't know if it depends on how big the sign is, how difficult the logo is. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they said it was about $80 to do a custom sign.
Not bad.
It's really good.
I think you guys should get one because I really do enjoy your guys' logo.
We'll have to look into that. Appreciate that.
We'll look into that.
No.
So real quick, before we shut it off, guys, we about an hour and 20. This is the longest podcast that I had, but I knew we would have a good one. When we've talked in the past, you know, we have a pretty good, I would say, connection that we can feed off each other. You know, obviously both of us being from Wisconsin and whatnot. What is one thing that you guys would give advice to someone that just started off streaming? What's one bit of advice that you'd want to give them?
I would say to not have high expectations. Don't think you're going to turn into Ninja overnight or even over 5 years. Because if you think that, you're going to just slowly rot and just give up. I would just say have low expectations, understand it's a grind, and play games you like to play. Play games that you have fun with. That's what I would say is the big piece. And it's going to take time, and it's okay that you're going to miss a couple comments in chat once in a while. But do a game you like. As soon as it starts to feel like a second job, stop. Give yourself a break, and just go for it. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I guess my advice would be you need to decide up front what you're good at, and you need to basically play to your strengths. So if you're really good at video games or a video game, like focus on getting as good as you can. If you're, really good at like talking to people and you can bring like really good energy and get people to stay, consider playing. Don't take the game so seriously. Just focus on, communicating with people. That would be just focus on your strengths. Yeah. And I totally agree with Oz. And I think that's partially why Oz and I have had success so far and haven't gotten burnt out, is because we knew the streaming game well enough that we had realistic expectations. We didn't think that we were just going to like roll in and start averaging like 1,000 viewers. So like, and I'm not saying that but like there are naive people out there like that. So that would be realistic and then play to your strengths, write down what you're good at and what the goal of each stream is. And then at the end of the stream, just recap in your mind, was I successful today or not? And if you weren't, what are you going to do next time?
Yeah. And like, if you're a gamer that's really good at a game, and like specifically like League, if you're really good at a champion or a role, just stick to that role in champion and just become known as like the main for that champion or that part of the game. Whereas sometimes I think people think they're good at a role or a game, and then they'll just bounce from game to game or different champions, whatever, and they'll lose their audience. So just find your niche and just go for it. Become a one trick at whatever and run with it. And we're with us, we don't really play in that as serious on stream. A lot like you, John, you're not going to find freaking top tier gameplay out of us, but we're there for the engagement. We're there for the entertainment piece, and we really hone in on that.
Solid advice, fellas. I couldn't have said it a little bit better than myself at all. That was really good because I've seen that destroy people before. There was guys that started streaming when I started streaming, and they had such high expectations, and within like 6 months, like, I'm not getting anywhere with this, and they just up and quit, and it sucked, man. They were really good streamers, really good dudes, but yeah, definitely don't jump into it with expectations like that. So guys, it's been an honor. I was super happy to be able to get you on the stream. I wanted you guys from the get-go. I'm happy to get the podcast going again. If you guys have anyone that you would highly recommend, make sure you let me know. So everyone, this is BrosThatStream. You got Matt and Oz. So thank you guys so much for coming and chilling with me. It means a lot to me. It really does, and I hope we can do another one in the future. I'm always willing to talk to somebody again, whether it's going to be on Streamers in Depth or we can do a JonnyG in the morning type thing where we can talk about any subject that you guys want to talk about. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming and chilling. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks, Johnny. I know we're very privileged to be here, especially your first stream back on the podcast game for a while. We know you're gonna have a lot of good streams, podcasts coming up in the future. Glad I could be a part of the first. And being from Wisconsin, I hope we can, share a Michelob Ultra or 12 together sometime.
Oh, I'll be down for that for sure.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, later.
See ya.
Bye.